A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. The Pharisees went off and plotted how they might entrap Jesus in speech. They sent their disciples to him with the Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man, and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth, and you are not concerned with anyone's opinion. For you do not regard a person's status. Tell us, then, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not?" Knowing their malice, Jesus said, "Why are you testing me, you hypocrites? Show me the coin that pays the census tax." Then they handed him the Roman coin. He said to them, "Whose image is this and whose inscription?" They replied, "Caesar's." At that he said to them, "Then repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." The Gospel of the Lord.
My brothers and sisters in Christ, in today's Gospel, Jesus gives us a striking example of how to be engaged as true and good citizens while not getting trapped in the potholes that politics creates. The Pharisees and the Herodians tried to trap Jesus with the question about paying the census tax. They represent two distinct parties that are both trying to get Jesus on their side. While they are hypocrites who are just trying to flatter Jesus to get him to side with them, they recognize something true about Jesus. They say, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man and that you teach us the way of God in accordance with the truth, and you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status." Having recognized this, they should not be surprised when Jesus refuses to be used as a political pawn, and when he makes clear that he is not a political revolutionary, as some hoped he might be. The coin that the Pharisees and Herodians show Jesus as the image of Caesar engraved on it. So he says, "Repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar," effectively telling them to be good citizens. Jesus, however, reminds them that it is not enough to be good citizens. He adds, "Repay to God what belongs to God." So we need to ask, what belongs to God? Surely not money. Think back to the book of Genesis when we hear, "God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them." The Roman coin bears Caesar's image, but we all bear God's image. Every one of us bear God's sacred image, whether we are in our mother's womb or at the end of life, whether we are of one skin color or another, whether we were born in one place or another, whether we are rich or poor. If Jesus says to give to Caesar the coin that bears his image, Jesus certainly desires us to give ourselves to God, because we are made in his image. If we all bear God's sacred image, we have no right to destroy or harm any innocent person bearing the image of God. Furthermore, if we are commanded by the Lord to give to God what belongs to God, then we have the responsibility of protecting and safeguarding what belongs to God, so that we might be able to give to Him what belongs to Him. Consider this question. What if you were in Jesus' position and the Pharisees came to you asking you this question? What would you be tempted to answer? Most likely, you would try to answer them in such a way that appeased them. You might whisper, "We shouldn't pay the taxes, but don't tell that to the Herodians." And if the Herodians were to ask you that question, you might be tempted to give a different answer that appeased them. Oftentimes, when we feel as though another person is trying to trap us, condemn us, or challenge us, we become more concerned about our defense than with the truth. We can become afraid to say anything that will give them reason to attack us. We will be tempted to twist our answers rather than speak forthrightly with sincerity and honesty. This will never resolve a conflict. The only way to resolve anything is with the truth. Today, I ask you to reflect upon how you work to resolve conflict when it arises. Are you more like the Pharisees and the Herodians, whose only goal was to trick, trap, and win? Do you see the other as an enemy in those moments, or do you strive to be like Jesus, who didn't shy away from the conversation, answering honestly and directly? Of course, the truth was easy for Jesus since He was without any fault. In our lives, the truth may require that we admit our sin and apologize when confronted. However, if the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth is our goal, then our conversations will imitate Jesus. Most often, a peaceful resolution will ensure. I wish you a God's blessing and have a blessed week.